Celebrity Rehab, day 21, I think. I don't have a lot of energy because I am completely exhausted and depleted after today's therapy session. Had a lot of big releases. Today started with occupational therapy, and I was telling my occupational therapist about how I just had an awful day yesterday because I was in a horrible mood from the moment I woke up, and I was just so fucking angry. And I just carried that anger with me all throughout the day. And it was so bad that I just actually didn't even go in for group therapy yesterday. I did it virtually because I didn't want to snap on anybody. And that's probably what would have happened if I did go in. And she was asking me, what is like the anger about, or what is it directed towards? And I was telling her about how I think it has to do with my therapy session that I had on Tuesday, and how we had started talking about my mom. And I hate talking about my mom, and every time I leave those therapy sessions, I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. But then the next day comes and I feel all the residuals, and I was just so fucking angry. And so she gave me a coloring page and some pencil crayons and crayons and let me color. And she was like, you know how after an argument sometimes you're like to yourself, oh, I wish I would have said this, or I could have said this or that. Is there anything in this moment that you want to say to your mom, whether it be out loud or writing it down? I didn't want to say it out loud. I don't think I was there yet, but she let me take a marker and write it on the dry erase board. I didn't know what was going to come out until I started writing it. But I took a picture of it, and so I'm gonna read it. So this video is mostly going to be about for and to my mother. And I wrote, why did you hurt me when all I did was love you? I have people that love me now, but I don't believe them because of how you treated me. I feel fucked up, unlovable, and like I'm damaged goods. I wish you would have died instead of my dad. None of who I am today is 'cause of you. Everything I am today is in spite of you. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm scared 'cause I look just like you. I don't want to be like you. And then we left that on the dry erase board in that room. And we moved to another room just so we can leave those feelings there. And I wish that would have been the end of the day, but sadly I had a solo therapy session right after that. And we did EMDR, specifically on the time that, the time when I was 13 and my mom wrapped the phone cord around my neck and choked me until I passed out. And there was barely any laughing. At the beginning of today's session, my therapist started it out by, I know this is gonna suck, but we're gonna start processing that situation. And there's probably gonna be a lot of tears, and I'll probably cry with you. And the moment I knew that I was gonna have to process that, I just started crying like I didn't even realize that tears were falling from my eyes. And I tensed up and I kind of started shaking. Just because that is a memory that I have had buried for so long. I never think about it because I don't want to. Think it might. I think it might be the scaredest I've ever been in my life. And it's really the moment that solidified that I was disposable and I don't matter. And I'm usually very good at calming myself down when I cry and self-soothing. But today, I was hyperventilating and I was wailing during that therapy session. I don't think I've ever cried like that during therapy. Because I had to close my eyes and take the buzzers in my hands. And then you do the eye movements so that, the security guard in your brain, as he calls it, is distracted. And I couldn't. It was just all so much. Having to intentionally sit there and think about it. I don't think I realized how much that situation had fucked me up and traumatized me and left me just scared. And to do EMDR and process it, you have to put yourself, back in your body. You can't leave your body to do it. And he was like, when you think of that situation, what is the image that comes to your mind? And the image to my mind that came to my mind was my mom's face as she was like over me, like strangling me. It was like the last thing I saw before I blacked out. And when I had to think about the situation, all I could remember was like begging my mom to stop and telling her how sorry I was for what I did. And just pleading with her not to kill me. Being terrified that I was gonna die. I'm sorry this video was so dark. And I was in there wailing. I don't think I ever cried like that in my life. And it was just shaking. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. It was supposed to go on for an hour, but honestly, I think after like 20, 30 minutes, I had to take a break. I couldn't anymore. And for a long time, I actually believed that I deserved that. That I deserved what happened to me. He kept asking me, what's coming up for you? How are you feeling in between, processing this? And all I could say was, I'm scared, or how scared I was. And I'm just so confused as to why I thought that was okay, or why I thought I deserved that, or that that's an acceptable punishment for a child. Because I couldn't even picture doing that to the children in my life now. I tried to, and I didn't even want to. And I think a part of me wanted to believe that that I just made it up and it was all in my head, but it really happened to me. And so, what I would like to say to my mom, if I were to ever see her again, and I know that I will, even if just for one last time, to tell her that I don't want to have anything to do with her, is that she was never fit to be a mother, never deserving of children. And I think that the reason that she tries to be a good Samaritan to other people and help other people so much is because she's afraid that when she dies and she goes to meet her maker, he's going to have some questions about why this supposed blessing, because children are supposed to be blessings, why you would torture your children like that. I don't even think she ever thinks about it. And that's the part that makes me feel so stupid about still feeling so scared and sad and traumatized, is that she doesn't care. And it still affects my life every day. And I really want to start believing that there are people that do love me and won't hurt me like that. But it's so hard. And that was just what I had to deal with as a child. And I am proud of myself for allowing myself to cry as hard as I did. I think everybody in there heard me. I just couldn't keep it in anymore. And I hope that one day I'm able to not feel like damaged goods just because my own mom couldn't love me. Because I'd like to think that I'm pretty great. So I am just going to take it easy for the rest of the day. And yeah, that was Celebrity Rehab today.